Hello. They fight. They fight. They fight and fight and fight. Fight, 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 fight. It's the itchy and scratchy show. It's a BMW M8. The itchy and scratchy show. Hello. So I have a project that's probably not going to be ready to be announced publicly on the large YouTube channel for another week. There's a lot of cleaning up and a lot of stuff that we have to do. But I wanted to try and put feelers out and see how many people would be interested in helping moderate this. It is a consumer protection wiki where we are going to detail everything that most of the instances of systemic customer abuse that stem from companies trying to take away your ability to say that you own what you bought. Yeah, Ferrari. So nice. Anyway, companies. Yeah, I'd like to document every instance of a company trying to take away your ability to say that you own what you bought and paid for. I also want to tie this to be a place where you could learn about different central themes. So, for instance, we're going to have articles on a company or a product that has tried to take away your rights of ownership by taking a product that used to offer you a camera that used to provide you with notifications when someone came by it and saying, sorry, you now have to buy the latest camera for this to work. You're not allowed to connect it to your own server. You have to use ours. Therefore, we have the right to fuck you indefinitely. So the EULA roofie, I not only want to go over when a company does that, but I also want to define these terms. The retroactively amended purchase agreement, the EULA roofie, the changing the terms of the sale after the sale, what it means to try and take away somebody's rights of ownership. What it means, like when Sony redefines the word own on page 21 of an end user license agreement, all these type of things. You know, right to repair was honestly really just the canary in the coal mines. But even Apple right to repair, what I did with my business was a very, very, very small portion of what I think this entire movement needs to be, all this stuff is going to be remembered for. Like, right to repair is a very small portion of the entire concept of ownership and sovereignty over what you bought and paid for being fundamentally stripped away from people. And modern Consumer Reports just isn't focusing on this shit. Like, Consumer Reports back in the day used to mean you bought a toy, it was a rubber action figure or something, it was made for people aged 2 to 6. If you were too young, maybe a kid would bite the toy off and there was something in the neck where if you bit the toy, it would be easy to swallow and the kid would choke on it and die. Getting a toy pulled off the shelf because when a kid bites it, like that was consumer protection in the 80s and 70s. Or this mechanic shop with offices across or warehouses or what, body shops across the country. Yeah, did I really just say offices for mechanic? They have a $199 tune-up, and when you show up, they say it's actually $299, even though the ad said $199. Like, that was consumer protection of the old days. And consumer protection of the modern day is, I spent $400 on this device, and they remotely fucking disabled it, unless I give them more money. Like, modern consumer protection is, I purchased a fucking movie for $25 using the word purchase, and it was removed from my library. And the only reason they were even able to use the word purchase legally is because on page 21, they redefined the word that has been in the Webster's dictionary since the 14th century. So I want to document every single instance of this occurring, but more importantly, I also want, actually no, that's not more, but I want to go over every single instance I've already done on this channel. Every instance. There has to be at least 1,000 videos in this fucking channel where I've went over these things, and I provided citations, sources, factual evidence, either within the contents of the video or in the description of the video. Now the problem with doing something like this is organizing it all. Getting those 1,000 videos into a wiki or a database. And more importantly, what constitutes an article that should be allowed to stay? What are the rules and the guidelines? What separates an article from like really going over an anti-ownership practice from a bad Yelp review when somebody has a bad personal experience with a business? Because this can't be something that becomes Yelp. I don't want to have, I bought this item and they said the screen wasn't cracked and it was cracked when I sent it back to them, and then they like that's a consumer protection issue, but that's between you and Yelp. That's between you and your local licensing authority for that particular business. Like, you report that stuff to the Department of Consumer Affairs. That's not really what this is for. This is for educating consumers on rampant, widespread anti-ownership practices that are unique to the modern day, and also widespread scams and scams. So it can't be like, they said that my screen was cracked when it wasn't. I'm a sample size of one, because I don't want to get into this whole he said, she said shit where I don't know if you crack your own screen kind of thing. Like this can't become Yelp. This absolutely cannot become Yelp. So I've been working on creating guidelines for this. I've went through a lot of my old videos to try and figure out what are the items I would include in a video and would not. And I've really tried to quantify why, because up until now, it's always just been this random feeling. I think this is appropriate. I think this one would not be appropriate. But why would it be appropriate or inappropriate? And you also have to have a clear mission statement. So this is not ready to have articles posted to it yet. I want to be clear. I'm just starting to gauge interest in this. And I have a Discord that I forgot. It's linked to somewhere on that fucking wiki that I can't see. If any of you guys want to check it out, it's wiki.rossmangroup.com. That's wiki.rossmangroup.com. If you know how to spell my name, you'll find it. I'm not going to be announcing this on the other channel and really trying to get people to do submissions yet. I'm not even looking for submissions yet. I'm still setting up the infrastructure. I'm getting the anti-spam working. I have to switch over to HCAPTCHA because I feel disgusting that I'm using Google reCAPTCHA right now. Like HCAPTCHA is better, and it's not Google. The anti-spam stuff is really just getting started. At what threshold do we auto-confirm people? What plugins are good for blocking general spam? Getting the X headers and all that shit set up so that I can use a Cloudflare-like proxy and still have the IP show up of the user. Yeah, if you could link the Discord. Essentially, if people are interested in moderating this, that's what I'm looking for. Are you interested in moderating, or are you interested in being a part of taking my old videos and turning them into well-cited articles? This is going to be a community effort. This is not going to succeed unless I have buy-in from a mass number of people. But my goal here is to create the JD Power and Consumer Reports of the 2020s, because nobody's doing this shit. Everybody is captured by the garbage. Like, the idea for this really got cemented just a few days ago when I was making a page for my website. I don't have the Drive Savers affiliate money to pay you $900 because you referred me a data recovery. I can't do that. I can't afford that. So I make all these pages on my website for all these different models of drives, and the blah blah blah. We recover your data. We have a PC3K. I'm special because I paid Chris to take a class or whatever. All that stuff. And I'm writing an article for the SanDisk Extreme Portable Pro because it's a piece of garbage SSD. And even in this article that was supposed to be pretty much a search engine optimization article for my website, so that I'm no longer number 72 on Google, I'm getting into a rant on consumer protection. Like, this is oozing out of everywhere. If somebody wants to link that SanDisk Extreme Pro article from rossmangroup.com that I did recently, everything is oh my god, don't go over the double yellow, bro. Come on. He didn't go over, but he was on his way to going over. Oh dear God. Oh dear God, Texas driver. Oh God. Okay, let's get in the right lane. I don't trust any of you fucks. I don't trust any of you motherfuckers. Okay. So the point here, I'm reading this, and there are people that were suggesting people buy this drive on websites that were designed for customers who want to buy tech. And these people were openly, honestly saying, I have never tried this thing, but you should get it, it's probably good. Like, I'm not kidding. they're a reputable company. I've used some of their products in the past, so I'm sure this new product that's totally unrelated is also good. I just think, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I know why they did this shit. They did this shit because the affiliate revenue was through the roof for this particular product, because they were selling a solid state drive that was 4 terabytes for below what market value would be for a 4 terabyte drive, assuming the drive was good. This drive was bad. They were just trying to get it off the store shelves because it was a piece of shit. But if you're selling a 4 terabyte drive for considerably below market, a lot of people are going to click that link and buy it, which means there's a lot of affiliate revenue in it for you. And a lot of people were selling this thing, saying outright, I've never used this, but here, I recommend you buy this. That is what Consumer Reports is nowadays. That's what consumer protection is. That's what most of the blogosphere is nowadays. It's complete sponsored garbage capture. And there's really nobody going after all these fucking scams. It doesn't exist. Like, CNET is not there to protect you. I don't know how else to put it. So I really want to take advantage of the fact that my entire brand over the past 13 years has been something that is not brand. How can I turn the negative into a positive? The negative, and one of the things I think we can do is take this popularity that is from the, I hate using this word, it makes me want to throw up my mouth, the brand of what I do, and use that in a positive way, which is getting as much information out there about these products and these practices of these companies that other people are not going to do, either because they are getting paid by those companies or because they want to appear brand safe to attract sponsors and affiliate revenue into the future. And nothing says not brand safe like 1,000 or 3,000 videos lambasting a large corporation for taking away your rights of ownership across all industries, verticals, and fields. We are recruiting you. I want you, Statistialist, with the big top hat. So, if you're open to this, check out wiki.rossmangroup.com, and there's a few articles to read. The first one is going to be editorial. I think it's, what is it called, Christoph? There's the editorial one that goes over the different type of guidelines. It's the article that mentions themes, practices, all that other shit. Christoph will tell you. So there's the mission statement, which is the homepage. There's the moderation guidelines, which right now is admittedly AI generated trash. It's just, I literally just took all the ideas that I had and said ChatGPT spit something out. This is why this is not released yet, because all this stuff needs to be gone through in great detail, combed through, fixed up. Like, it's still in the process of being wireframed and turned into something remotely useful. Oh, that was a dead little skunk or kitty on the side of the road. That made me sad. There's nothing that makes me sadder than seeing a curled up tail on the side of the road that's not moving. It's like, that breaks my heart. Every time I see that, I want to cry. Yeah, Christoph, what's the name of the page that goes over all that stuff? There's a page that went over the different article types that Keith wrote. Christoph? Yeah, he'll find it at some point, but you guys get the idea. But you know the thing, as Joe Biden would say. You know the thing. You know the thing. That's a Toyota Tundra. What do you do, Remdog? my camera actually died because it was out in the rain. So the koi camera died. Not the underwater one, but the underwater one has no microphone, which kind of sucks. Scott storage to get the day started.
All the ladies, if you feel me, help me sing it out. Everything we had was less. We young and naive, and me to think she was from your past. Silly of me to dream of one day having your kiss. Love is so blind, it feels right when it's wrong. I can't believe I fell for your schemes. I'm smarter than that. I'm naive to believe that with me you're a changed man. Foolish of me to.
Would have been better to put your raw ideas instead of having ChatGPT regurgitate. Incorrect, actually. Incorrect. That's the Luddite take. It actually does a really good job of formatting everything. And also, so like if I have a bunch of ideas and I say, here's why this fits, here's why this doesn't, here's why, it's exceptionally good at reading. Sometimes I can't tell if people are saying that stuff based on ideology or experience, because it's insane. It's actually way better than just having a bunch of half-baked ideas from random Discord people. It did a damn good job. It's just I have to rewrite it, but yeah. I wonder if people shit on Google this much when it first came out. Like, you're still gonna have to write your own code even though Google exists. So it's pointless to use it. It's like, yeah, but it's really fucking useful to be able to look shit up with Google. It's really useful to be able to look things up. I don't know. I like tools. I do. I like the band. I like the things that can make my life easier. I don't like customers who are tools, but for the most part, I like tools. They're cool. If it works, you use it. If it doesn't work, you put it back in the box and you wait for a time that it works. It did a good job. It did a good fucking job, man. Like, I had a bunch of old emails that I anonymized, and I just said, okay, I posted them, and it's like, why does this fit? Why does this not? And we just took all the comments that we thought made sense, and it's like, here, what do you think of this? Okay, here's what we think of this. 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 And it's like, look at the mission statement, turn this shit into rules that make sense. Now, to be clear, am I going to use that for the final? Fuck no. But the thing is, when you're starting from complete scratch, when you're sitting looking at a white piece of paper, it's the most difficult kind of writer's block to get over. So when you have something that'll take all this random shit and actually turn it into something actionable right there, it's so much easier to take something that exists and modify it and mold it than it is to do it from like complete scratch. If you have a piece of clay in front of you and it looks like a kangaroo, it's much easier to take that piece of clay shaped like a kangaroo and then shape it into a penguin than it is to make your own clay, dig it out of the ground, and then build it from scratch. A penguin and a kangaroo are different items, but it's easier to tweak one into the other. I don't know how else to put it. Like, all these models, they get shit on so much. Every time I hear that, ChatGPT is not going to replace a human, so why even bother? It's like, dude, it's not what it's fucking there for. 90% of the time that I Google shit, the first couple of results are useless. Or even if it gives me information, the information I get does not solve my problem immediately, but it sure as fuck gets me closer to solving my problem. It's the antiquity fallacy thing. I think it's the antiquity fallacy thing. It's like that, I get it, modern cars spy on you and they suck, right? Like, modern cars spy and that sucks. I don't like it. But then you have all these people that go off on the whole, like, yeah, my 1985 car is way better than any. It's like, dude, are you serious? Have you heard of a crumple zone? I'm sorry, I like a modern Toyota Corolla. If you drive it efficiently, I know somebody that's getting 49 to 50 fucking miles per gallon in their Toyota Corolla. Yeah, good luck getting that with a 1994 shitbox. And there's nothing wrong with driving an old car. I'm never gonna like make fun of you because you're driving an old car. You do you. Make your shit work as long as possible. But it's like people really go overboard with that shit sometimes. Like, my 1996 car is safer and better. No, it's not. Especially when they get into the 80 shit. I mean, I remember once a car goes over 100,000 miles, it was just kind of considered on its last legs. And now, 100,000 miles is the first lap. Anyway, rant over. Check out the Discord if you're interested in this, moderating it, contributing, helping, etc. It's going to be a week, but once a week passes, this is going to be the most lit shit you've ever seen in your life. Yes, that's right. I said lit. I know how to do the Gen Z thing. I know how to be a Gen Zer. Okay, another hot take. I don't care about AI web scraping. Not at all. I do not give a fuck. That is fine. Where I draw the line with the AI shit, do not go through my private shit. You can, like for instance, repair shoppers thing. You do not get to go through my private customer communications on an application where I started paying you before any of this shit existed. You don't get to go through my private fucking communications and train your AI. That's bullshit. You don't get to go through my private email. You don't get to go through my private session files, my private QuickBooks data. That's private. But when I post something on the public internet, when I have a blog on my website that any Tom, Dick, or Harry from anywhere in the world can click, like I don't. It's very weird to me that there's this concept that I consent to you reading my content, but not you. If you don't want the AI to scrape what you have placed onto the public open internet, then like put a paywall on it. Require a password to view your website. This is the argument everybody uses with YouTube. What people use to justify watching YouTube with an ad blocker is that, well, if they wanted people to not view because there are people that say that using ad block is piracy or stealing, and that's obviously complete and utter bullshit. The idea that using ad block is piracy for YouTube is complete bullshit. But when people make that argument, usually what people will say back is, well, with YouTube, if you didn't want people watching your stuff, then what? You should put a paywall. You should tell people they can't watch without logging in. So that if that argument is good enough for copyrighted content on YouTube, then why is it not good enough for an AI reading stuff? Like I am all very, very pro privacy. I am very, very pro not letting these companies fuck you out of your rights of ownership and everything else. But yeah, like when I post something on the public internet, that's available for every Tom, Dick, Harry, poor person, rich person, religious person, atheist, person in the U.S., person in Timbuktu, like man, dog, machine, like everybody. Like it's really, there's no limit there, in my opinion. If you don't want people having access to information, you can require a username and a password to get access to the information, is the way I see it. It's when they start taking my private works and my private communications and using it to train these things, that's where that crosses a line. AI art kind of sucks, but I don't really care about AI art music. I do find it funny when I get to hear Joe Biden talking about Young Thug and wanting a fat hose to sit on his face using AI. That stuff I find interesting. I also think this whole thing where you have people read things in foreign languages in English is an interesting use of AI. Like one of the interesting things that I came across recently was some sort of AI Hitler, where they're taking Hitler's speeches and they are feeding it through an AI and then saying, okay, now say it in English. One of the really cool things about this is if you listen to Hitler's speeches, it's very, very interesting how many of the things he says when you hear it in English sound like our own politicians in the United States. Like, I shouldn't be laughing at this, but I almost think that should be one of the ways that AI is going to change the way you teach history. Like, get enough information on this particular individual and then just figure out how to get their speech to be read in the way that they would have said it in your language. Man. I swear to Christ, if fucking Hitler got played in junior high school and elementary school, there'd be so many kids going, "Mommy, why does he sound like our politician? Mommy, why does he sound like our mayor?" that shouldn't be funny, but that should not be funny, but it shouldn't be. It's one of my dad always used to say, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. Anyway. Anyway, I'm out of here. Yeah, don't sell. The corporation should not sell your personal data. Fuck all that shit. But if you want something to be private, I have a great suggestion for you. Don't put it on a public blog that the entire internet can see. Anyway, see you in the next one.